Welcome back to another episode of The Clean Truth. I am Dawson Holt.
And I am Ben Jones, and today we are recapping the Battle of Atlanta that just went down last weekend. I think Battle of Atlanta is like a big tournament for both of us. It was my first ever NASCAR tournament, and it almost felt like, even going back, I've been moved away for a little bit, but it almost felt like going back home, right?
Yes, for sure. I think it's going on 57 years now, I believe. It's in the 50s somewhere, but yes, it was also my first tournament. My first tournament that I attended back in 2014. So yeah, it's always a great one. It's definitely one of the bigger ones just because it's one of the big ones that everyone goes to. Everyone pulls in, forms fighting, people from the movie industry all around. So yeah, it's definitely a great one.
Yeah, 100%. And so I think it's actually cool too. Like 2014 Battle of Atlanta was my first NASCAR tournament I competed at. I went as like a spectator, but also to Battle of Atlanta 2013. But I didn't compete. My older brother, Winston Jones, shout out Winston, he competed that year, and I just went and watched.
Nice.
But yeah, crazy that the first time we both competed at a NASCAR tournament was the same year, same tournament. Mm-hmm. And now we have podcasts together. That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I remember when I went, I wasn't even a black belt. Yeah, I was advanced red belt or red black belt. It was one of those. Yeah. I think I was red black belt that year at that time, I believe. And I competed, didn't win, still had a great time. Attended the first competitive edge camp.
Yeah, man.
That's ever been done, and that was pretty cool experience. There was a lot of people in that camp, like a lot of like big names that attended that event. Like Mason Bumba was in that. Aiden Kennedy was also in that. Who I just watched Karate Kid, by the way, this past week, and I noticed the dragon kick, the shuriken cutter was in that movie, and you can just tell that's definitely Aiden. Just how he does his shuriken cutter, everything is just
beautiful.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect extension. Tech wise. Yes. So yeah, high praise from Aiden Kennedy always. Who else was in it? I mean, Carmichael Simon came, and they, the coaches, the staff, which is, the Presleys and Jackson Rudolph, introduced us to Carmichael. That was the first time I've ever met Carmichael, for the first time. But yeah. And yeah, here we are. Like you just said, now we're doing a podcast. Years later, competing in the men's division. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely crazy to reflect. Like we've been going to that tournament for like a decade now, over a decade. And I think it's probably similar for you as well. Like once I started 2014 Atlanta, like just added on more and more NASCAR tournaments. From there, moving forward in the next couple of years after that. And then just have been, rocking the whole circuit
for sure,
close to a decade. So yeah, crazy that we're, where we're at. But yeah, a lot of history in Atlanta. It's always a special one for me because, like I said, it kind of feels like a home tournament because we live like 3.5 hours away. So it was a pretty easy drive up, for us. And my whole family would go to it because it's just an easy drive. Didn't have to fly or anything like that. So. Yeah, it was always, close to home. We have both sides of my cousins live there. So it's like we get to see some family at the same time. So it just always felt like home. So going back this weekend was cool. And, we have like history there too. For me, it's super special because in 2018, I won my first ever NASCAR division there. Mm-hmm. And then I won my first ever NASCAR runoff there. And then first ever NASCAR overall there, all in the same weekend. So like, it's very special. And like I said, like we'd have some cousins stop by and come watch and support. So it's always been a great event.
Yeah, I can say the same thing. Like I remember when I went just attending the night show for the first time, that was life-changing. It was, I remember watching Caitlin Deschelle doing her form, Mackenzie and Tyler.
Yeah,
I watched Tyler as well. I watched Reed Presley battling it out with Tyler Weaver. I watched Jackson. I watched Raymond Daniels. Like, I just remember all those moments just in the night show, sitting in the back. Mm-hmm. And it's always like one of my mom's best friends who just so happens to live like close by to the Renaissance. So she always, since day one, she's always comes to that tournament and just watches and supports. Pretty cool. It's always great seeing her every year. My uncle also came for the first time. He didn't come this year, but I also have family that I have an uncle that lives in Atlanta. So whenever he has time, he'll make it out there. Or my family tunes in and watches the live stream when they can. But yeah, I'd say this tournament is also special for me because I've never won an overall grands at this tournament until this year. So that's weapons, traditional weapons. That's my first time ever, and this is going on 11 years now. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Just going back, even just competing in on Competitive Edge, the demo team over the years with you guys. Yeah, that's all
For
I got.
sure. Yeah, a lot of great history. And I feel like the demo with Competitive Edge kind of started in Atlanta, right? Because we did an opening demo for the next show. And then we competed for the first time US Open right after.
Right.
So that was like the start of Competitive Edge demo and kind of like the home of Competitive Edge almost, in a way. Obviously, there's the big camp there, which they had this year as well. And it looked huge. A lot of great campers. So I think it's awesome that, Jackson Reed and Cole and Jake, when he's available, are still around to be able to give back and still run these camps. Like that's pretty cool for this generation that's coming up. But yeah, like we did that opening demo probably like 2016, 2017, 2016, somewhere around there, and then started competing in demo really based off of what we did for the opening in the Battle of Atlanta night show. So Battle of Atlanta opening demos are iconic, right? Historically, like there's always been something sweet. Like I remember that's one of the most vivid memories I have of an Atlanta night show is that Kiss demo.
Yeah.
The Devil Went Down to Georgia demo that they did.
That's right.
And then we got to be in them. Like, yeah.
Yeah. That was freaking dope. That was dope. Yeah. Kiss demo was really cool. Getting to see all their faces painted as, yeah, that was cool. What else, man? Other than demos.
Well, speaking of opening demos, though, this weekend.
We did a Star Wars demo opening the show. It was also special because my younger sister, got to walk out and sing the national anthem, so that was pretty cool to see. I know my sister and her ability to sing, so her and my brother are both musical, or more on the music side of things. I'm the only one in my family who kicks and punches, so but it's still pretty cool. It was also really cool to see her or watch and listen to her sing the national anthem because how she got it was she sang it for our tournament. Jason Warren and Ronnie Presley's tournament, the SmackDown. She sang the national anthem, and Greg and Tommy Ruth was there, and they heard her. And I remember they went up to my mom and they said she's going to sing for the Battle of Atlanta night show. And at first she's like, I'm not doing that. But I was like, you sing like all the time. That's no problem. She's like, that's different. Like I'm used to singing in front of people that I know. Like this is different. I was like, no, you're fine. You'll be. But yeah, so that was cool to listen to that. And we went to work with that demo, the Star Wars demo, and we pretty much started it up. I think we mentioned the idea about a month ago, or definitely a couple weeks prior. We were working on it a couple weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks prior. And we were on Zoom calls, coming up with ideas for the story. Reed pretty much orchestrated the story. And, since I happen to be, right next door, he's like, all right. So he put me to work. He put all of us to work. Esteban, mixed the music, which was pretty cool. The music was cool just because it was one of Cole's old music that he used one time for his Comiform. It's a Star Wars. It's super cool. So Esteban made that. You made a combo. I choreographed the fight scenes. What's
We
that?
kind of worked on one together too, me and you, at least to
Yeah, we
start.
made one together. Yeah, so it was really cool and surreal just for our generation and the previous generation of competitors, the Presleys and Jackson, all to work together and make a demo just a couple weeks prior, and we just all thought of something pretty fast and got it down. It was really fun, really really fun. Had a blast training it. Because I mean, you watch Star Wars, I watch Star Wars, so like all the Star Wars reference,
Lore.
yeah, the jokes that we make on the sidelines, and like Cole understood it. I mean, a few of them haven't watched Star Wars, but I mean, we're making so many funny references, so you couldn't but laugh. And plus, you're holding a lightsaber, so of course the kid side of me was just having a blast, and I got to take one home for free, so that was probably more. It's probably more. I mean, to be honest, I think it's a little bit more valuable than the trophy itself.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to say that, but I mean, like, check
The second.
It has so many settings on it, so
Yeah.
so many different colors.
There it is.
Anyways, let me turn this thing off real quick.
The teacher.
It takes a long time for it to turn off, so I have to hold down the button. Please hold.
Power off.
Perfect.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, there was so much fun putting that together, man. I mean, like you said, like we did the Zoom things leading up to the tournament, but then like once we got to the tournament, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, even did we do something Friday night?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, just a ton of fun. I mean, like, it was kind of hard to stay on track because, like you said, it's like we've seen all the movies. We got lightsabers in our hands. It's like,
right?
Keep spamming moves you've seen and quotes from movies and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it was fun. It was so funny too. Like, just to give everybody a little insight, like you just saw the lightsaber and stuff that we were using. Like, we walked on stage not knowing what color those were going to be. Like, we had an idea, hoping it was still on the setting that we put it on before we got on stage, but there were so many different settings. Like, we could have all turned them on. They could have all been pink, and luckily most of them were on track still. So fun.
Yeah, I'll go a little bit deeper. So people who are tuning in, the lightsaber itself is very complex and has a lot of settings, and there's so many ways to change the settings. Like, all you gotta do is, if the lightsaber is like, if you turn the blade off and you rotate it counterclockwise just a little bit, then it'll change. So like, if you start moving it around, it'll change color by accident, and you don't mean to do that. So like, that was the scariest part, is like having to walk on stage holding it like a baby. You just like, do not move it or it'll change colors, change settings. Like, you have to hold it still. So yeah, that was a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, we made it work.
Well, we made it work out. Everything turned out good. Yeah, I was showing the video to one of my friends, to some of my friends who here. I showed them the video, and they thought Reed's just simple, Reed just turning on the lightsaber slowly as Duel of Fates theme plays. They thought that was the coolest thing ever. But like, I mean, they thought the whole thing was sick, but they're like, "You'll go back to that one part in the very beginning."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty sick. Another, I have to give out a shout out to the Action Workshop. Juliana and Justin Ortiz, and some of the other guys. Who else? Chris Yorka, Steven Rodriguez, all those guys. They did a killer job. They also did a camp, a stunt action workshop camp, for kids who are interested in going into stunts. That's the camp you want to check out, and you'll learn lots of great insights from those guys that I just mentioned. They are currently in the movie industry right now, doing great things. But yeah, they also did a great demo in the night show as well. Yeah, man.
And they have I don't know the exact dates or anything, but they've got another stunt workshop happening, I believe, at Century headquarters, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So in Oklahoma, I mean, dude, if you want to get to stunts, that's the place to be, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I even attended one of their stunt workshops back in November, and it was 10 hours long, but man,
Yeah.
I learned so much from that, and I had a blast. It was really, really fun. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. So
For sure.
it was in Nashville. So they told me they were going to do it in Nashville, and I was like, I'm there. So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, man. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to just the Truth Entertainment crew, like the whole crew getting the lighting and all the stages, the sound, the audio, all that. I mean, they even, worked with us. They stayed late for us so we could get our demo stuff figured out. So they were putting in some extra hours for us. So we appreciate that big time.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want to blow past the fact that we've just been talking about, we grew up coming to this tournament, watching these opening demos, and now we're in them with the same people we watched do them.
Yeah.
Right. Like we were watching Jackson, Reed, and Cole, Jake doing that Kiss demo, and we just did a demo with Jackson, Reed, and Cole, you, Esteban, Avery, and Philip was in it, and then Elijah Williams as well, member of Competitive Edge. So, I mean, that could be anybody who's listening right now, or anybody who just went to their first Battle of Atlanta. A few years from now, that could be you.
And how you can do that is the same thing that we did. We attended the Competitive Edge camps, and we worked hard in the camps, and we got valuable stuff from those camps. We applied those to our training, and did lessons with them. Got better over the years, competing, making it to the night show and being successful in that. And then, getting picked up on Team Paul Mitchell. And yeah, so just proving that, we're valuable and yeah, so yeah, it can be done.
100%. A lot of hard work, a lot of hours put in, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Let's get a quick little recap of each of our personal weekends, and then we want to talk about some other people tonight. The focus is not really on us. Just as the hosts and as active competitors, we'll give a quick rundown of how the weekends went for us personally, and then we'll dive into some of the winners from the weekend and some other people. So for me, I felt really good all weekend about what I did. No drops at all, so I was on when it comes to tricks. Had a couple things that weren't, exactly how I wanted them to go, but I still made it work, One of my tosses I could tell was under rotated, but as soon as I let it go, I could tell it was under rotated. And so I ended up, instead of scooping in with the right hand, I just shot my left hand out and saved it, coming out of a triple in one of the divisions. And that, dude, I'll say that just comes to the reps. I've done that toss so many times. I knew as soon as it left my hand, I was like, that's under rotated. And so the adjustment was there. So just for anyone who's listening, get the reps like crazy. I couldn't tell you how many times I've thrown a bow, and so it pays off when you're in the heat of the moment, full speed. As soon as it left my hand, I knew it. I'm like, that's going to be under rotated. I got to figure this out. And then figured it out. Right. So reps. So other than some little things like that, little adjustments, I felt great all weekend.
Good.
Won sync weapons with Esteban. I got musical and creative non-bladed Friday night, so I was feeling great. I got second in extreme, and then tried. I felt like I hit a good form. Matthew Moore took the win on that one. He looked really strong. We'll probably talk about him a little bit more in a little bit also. Korean felt really good actually too. Quebec I felt pretty good, but definitely a lot stronger this past weekend in Korean. I think it was just good to be back with some good competition too. Jeff Doss was back in it, who wasn't in Quebec. And it looked really good too. So, he took the win. Shout out to Jeff. He's on point as always. But I felt back on, I felt like I was hitting again. It felt good. So I got second to Jeff. And then night show, me and Esteban nailed a form. I love when we just go out, no music, and just run it. It's fun. Sync. I mean, we've talked about, like last time we talked about with Danny and Aiden, their sync where it was no music. They just went out and went crazy. And it's like, it sounds like one person competing, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what you want, especially with no music to drown it out. Just the sound of the performance, the stomping on the stage, the striking, the slight little whoosh you hear when we go behind the back into a toss. Like, but it sounds like one person. That's what you want, right? So we were on, man. It felt great. Had some good competition with, Colin and Joe, Colin O'Brien, Joe Troya from Team AKA. They were looking really solid.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Joe's got a knee injury that now he's dealing with, so we're wishing the best for him. Hopefully he's right back at it super soon, ready to rock again. Then when it comes to men's weapons final, I felt good about what I did. There were two specific things that I felt that most people probably wouldn't even notice, but two specific things I felt that weren't exactly like I wanted them, but I still felt good about what I did regardless. So that's a quick little rundown for me. Overall, great weekend, like we've already talked about. There's a lot of nostalgia and history behind it. So just always great to be back.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good stuff. Yeah, you did look solid in the Korean division, man. It was good. Yeah,
we missed you.
Yes, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't compete in that division just because I wanted to focus all my energy on the traditional overall grands, the runoff. Yeah, it was the runoff. So, yeah, I just didn't want to waste any energy or just put so much energy into that form and then just slap my gi on, try Korean and just be super gassed for that. So, but it's all good, man. Yeah. So my rundown. Overall, I mean, besides, I only have one mistake that I made, and that was, Team Sync in Friday. It's just a glitch, and it just shows that I'm human, and I make mistakes too, always. So, yeah, it was one of those. It was like, yeah, I didn't hurt myself, but I just, I did one move that was not supposed to be done, and after that, it was like in my head, I was like, oh, great. Is this obvious that like everyone just noticed? And I just like instantly was like, that's it. That's over. That's done. So like looking back, I wish I shouldn't have given up. I should have kept going, which I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But other than that, next day, which at all, like after that, like it didn't bother me at all because it's just like, man, there's just only one form. It's like I still got all these my individual forms that I got to worry about, and I know what I did wrong. So U.S. Open, I'm gonna make sure that we do it right next time. The next day felt really good overall. No mistakes, no drops. Yeah, starting off with we started our divisions or the weapons divisions. We started extreme, then musical, then the creatives. Extreme and musical, I felt pretty good. I hit my forms. Extreme weapons, I'm not seated in that division just because I've dropped in that division in the past couple tournaments. So it was one of those. I was like, okay, it's the very first division. I'm gonna go hard. I have to go 8th out of 20 people, something like that. I can't remember.
18 maybe, whatever. Yeah,
close to 20. It wasn't. It was deep. It wasn't as deep as musical, but musical was deep. But it was one of those. I was like, man, I'm going 8th. I'm just gonna make sure I hit a solid form and see what I can go from there and just see how my body feels. So I hit my form, felt really good. Felt like my pacing of my form wasn't on point, but other than that, felt good. I placed 3rd. Yeah, I placed 3rd, and then I was like, okay, that's fine. It's a great warm up. So, and then musical comes around. I hit my form, and it felt pretty good. I took 2nd. So I was like, okay, well, there goes my chances of doing any extreme for the night show. So, and then creative bladed happens, and I was pretty excited for that one just because I made some new stuff that I haven't done yet. So I was ready to, go all out and just hit a strong form.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was excited, but I was going last. Unfortunately, the main competitors that I was worried about winning dropped. So it was one of those where I was ready to go, and I know Rashad hit his form. So I was ready to go. The person before me dropped, and I was like, man, so I walked on stage. Literally, I turned my back. I was sitting there. I had to think in my head. I was just, let's just pause for a minute. Okay, the competitors that had a chance of beating me all dropped. So it was one of those. I was like, okay, dumb the form down. Don't make the same mistake you did yesterday. Dumb your form down. Don't do any tosses. Don't do anything. Like, just do not be stupid. So I was like,
And then I jokingly, I don't know if you even heard me now. I jokingly yelled out, I was like, "Run, Trad Sword!" And then as he started the form, I was like, I hope he didn't like hear me, and now I'm the reason he gets all messed up.
Well, I actually didn't hear you, so I was in deep thought. I was like, what am I gonna do now? I'm just gonna go. So I did my first section, shortened that a little bit. I hit my trick pass, cheat 7, back sweep, hook, illusion twist. You know, hop into the side kick, bam. Started section 2. I did some older stuff, and then I did one toss. That the one toss I did was one of those tosses that I knew I could do with my eyes closed because, like you said, I put the reps in. So I was completely fine with that. After that, I did like a spin hook kick, and then after that, I just started freestyling from there. I was like, okay, here, boom, boom, step. Okay, just finish your form. You're good. Like, it felt strong, felt good. Freestyled, and ended up taking the W in that. And it was one of those where it was like, okay, it was an easy win, but at the same time, it's a lesson. Hopefully, younger kids can hear this and learn from that. It was like, man, if you're a competition, if you would get in a position like that where you go last and your main competition makes a mistake, an obvious mistake that the judges saw, be smart about it. Don't go too hard, especially, it could be the night show or it could be a Friday evening, especially Friday evening. I was like, dude, just hit a strong form. Don't do anything too crazy where you may, compromise, your win. Yes. I won that division. And then after that, I decided not to do extreme forms because I was, let's go back a step. So leading up to this tournament, I was dealing with some injuries because I hurt my foot a little bit at Quebec, and I also irritated my tricep. So anytime I would practice sword, I would really hurt it. It would just be super. It would just ache. So I just didn't really train extreme forms the way I wanted to, just because I had to listen to my body and rest a little bit. So I decided not to do that division. I was like, but I did train for creative forms, so let's just do that. So I did that. Took second. It's pretty good form. Overall, I felt strong. It was a good day, good Friday. And then the next day, traditional weapons, we were supposed to start at 12. It was a little bit of a slow day. It's all good. I had to get the traditional forms out of the way. So it was an opportunity for me to, get some good sleep, some food in my body. Yeah. I felt really good. Traditional sword, it was one of those. I was like, okay, I'm good. So I took that victory. My competitors in there looked strong, solid. I didn't watch the whole division, but some of the people that I saw that I remember was Alec. Alec looked good. Diego looked good. Brendan Green looked good. Ethan Germain actually looked better.
There you go.
Yeah, he's actually looking better. Then after that, had to do traditional runoffs against Matthew. Shout out to Matthew. He's looking really good with his traditional weapons form. A lot of strength in it, which is a great characteristic to have in traditional because it's martial, right? You're hitting, you're striking. It's very valuable. Mm-hmm. It's high valued, especially when it comes to judging. So we get to the night show, did the opening demo, and then I ended up taking traditional weapons, and then I felt really good. Body was feeling great, not too fatigued. Got some downtime, got to change, and then do CMX. I had no mistakes, man. I hit my form pretty good. Pacing was right where I wanted it to be. Didn't slow down. Even with the creative form, man, it was one of those. I was like, we were about to go, and I was like, man, I got. I think I asked both of you guys, you and Esteban. I was like, hey, do you guys know the order Yeah, you're going first. Crap. And I got to do a form. Okay, let's do it. So, yeah, I went first. And, yeah, it was one of those. I was like, all right, let's set the tone. This is the last division for the evening.
Yep.
Felt really good. Like I said, you guys looked good as well. You said you didn't. I mean, there was a few adjustments that you had to make. Wasn't your most proud, form that you hit, but I mean, both of you guys look strong. Esteban's commas are looking better.
Yeah.
Had some Austin Crane influence in there.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. I was not expecting him to do that.
Little Webster toss, Webster land, double Webster. It's nice.
Cork, when he did his cork and did the inside inverted box cutter, he spun that sucker super fast. But yeah, for sure. And it was pretty happy with that win, man. So yeah, overall great weekend. Felt good.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, great weekend. I kind of touched on it a little bit, but like we had some stacked divisions. We had some good numbers, but like also good quality of competitors that we're against. I'd like to shout out Colin O'Brien, his bow form, man. He was moving.
Yes.
Fast. He's got that little, I remember seeing like Czar do it first, where he'd have his bow down, Webster flip over the top and slap the ground. And now Colin's nailing that too. That's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like our division is sweet to watch. I mean, top to bottom, from the start to the finish.
Yeah, there's some dogs. Yeah, who else, man? Jonah came back.
Jonah Michelle, yeah.
Adult debut and looked really good. I thought his hands were looking better. Tricking, obviously, like
fat kick full to start.
Yeah, he stomped his tricks. He didn't land on his knee, which I thought was smart due to the circumstances, but
Right.
I mean, it's stomping. The tricks that he does on a stage. It's like, wow.
Yeah,
that
huge.
was impressive. That was nice.
Right.
Rashad, always killing it.
Always bring energy.
Yeah, for sure. Always good to have his energy. Just even when we're waiting on competing.
Yep.
Who else? I'm trying to think who hit their divisions. I may be forgetting names. Sorry, guys.
I mean, well, Esteban obviously was looking solid all weekend, right? Philip always killing it. He did something, dude. He did something that I saw from afar, and I don't even remember what it was. It was some kind of like double finger roll or something, like in a circular motion, but it took me by surprise. Like I was watching a student or something, and they finished up. So then I was watching the stage from a different ring, and I like audibly out loud was like, "Whoa!" Like, what was that? Was it like I just did not expect it? So I don't even know what he did, but shout out to Philip. He's always throwing some stuff. It's like, ooh, that was cool.
Yes, for sure. Yeah,
Philip. Yeah, but I mean, outside of our division, I got to watch a little bit more, I think, this weekend than usual because, we're on stage and there's rings surrounding us. So, like, it's very easy to just look to your left or right and see competitors. So, man, I mean, I really feel genuinely like the sport's in a good spot. Young competitors, I think there's obviously always maturity and things that they can grow into. But I feel like these young competitors are solid, man. I mean, I guess there's always going to be some things that can be improved upon. And maybe it's just a simple thing that's not a priority to them right now. And as they grow and keep, developing within the sport, it's just going to take off. But I mean, all the way down to like 12 to 13 age divisions are crazy stacked. They're like deep divisions. Like, I think it's 12, 13 girls, maybe even 10, 11 girls is like stacked. You've got Olivia, Maddie, Demi. I think Piper's in there. Amanda's in there. That's 5 that could win it at any point.
Yeah.
Like, they're stacked, man. And same for the guys too. Like the boys division, like you got Michael Molina, Jet Kowalczyk's looking good.
Yeah, Jet really good.
Really good. Like tricks have advanced like crazy. So I mean, the young generation is going crazy right now.
Yes.
You can see at the bottom here, we've got Michael Molina was the youth boys weapons overall winner. Madeline Wiersma was the youth girls weapons winner. Youth girls forms was Amanda Duarte. Youth boys forms, Lucas Stravinskis. So a lot of good representation on the trad side and the CMX side there. So very
Congratulations.
younger generation. Congrats to them. Yeah, exactly. Crazy stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And then kind of taking it, I guess, a step up, going into the 14 to 17 runoffs. Man, I saw some good stuff there. Trey Dietrich hit a nasty runoffs form. I think it was a cheat 9 hook B twist. I think 3 corks out of that.
Yeah. And later he hit a Webster and did like a front stance and just stuck. I was like, oh,
good
that was
stuff.
nice.
Yeah.
That was really nice. Yeah. I thought, I mean, of course, Judah, congrats to him. You know, he looks great as always. But yeah, I was really impressed with Trey's form.
Agreed.
Yeah, I wasn't able to see the weapons, unfortunately. But Gavin Dollar, I did see his form in the night show, and he was really good. Congrats to him. And Ben Kuya, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Sorry if I'm mispronounced it, but yeah, he's killed it with his trad form. He's always trying to get better as well. But yeah, Gavin Dollarite, like I said, congrats to him. He looks solid. I did see a video of Nolan's weapons form, and I thought it was impressive too.
Yeah, man.
And that kid's getting better. I didn't see Judah's sword form. Did he hit? Did you see that division at all?
I saw pieces of it. So like I got to see video of like Nolan's form, which I've worked with Nolan some in the past too, and still maintain a good relationship there. And he's gotten a lot stronger, I feel like, in the last year. Yeah. Like he's always been clean and smooth, like with Bo. Like he's always had good flow. But there's a certain like a little bit more power to him now, and like he's really coming into his own. And I think he'll be taking some overalls later this year, early next year for sure.
100%, yeah.
Nolan. But I mean, we kind of talked about our division a little bit with the men's side. Men's CMX forms, as you see at the bottom, Esteban Tremblay was the overall winner there. Had a great head-to-head matchup with our teammate Philip Brumet as well. The tricking in their forms are just insane. Such high level. I mean, you had each of them throwing dragon kicks in their form. The shuriken cutter is what we're still calling it. Shuriken cutter. We're not switching to dragon kick.
Shuriken cutter, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Esteban was really strong with his form. It was a little bit shorter.
No music.
Yeah, no music, just straight to the point. And yet Philip did music. And that's a good I really like watching them compete against each other for forms because I think it's a good rivalry. I think. Because getting to know Philip, as a teammate and just, hearing – well, I mean, not hearing. I mean, I'm seeing and listening because he's very vocal about his goals. And, he makes goals, like the rest of us. But he speaks them and puts them into existence. So, and of course, Esteban, has goals and aspirations as well. And, it's very entertaining watching them both go head-to-head for forms. It's a very good dynamic, I think.
Stylistically, too, it's a cool matchup because they don't look the same like at all. So I think it brings a cool there's variety in what you see from each of them. So that way it's like, it's a head-to-head matchup of teammates, but it doesn't look like the same person twice, even though they both throw shuriken cutters in the form and, there's going to be similar. Everybody's going to do a chop punch, but things like that, like you can tell there's a different style. And I think that makes for a great one-on-one matchup.
I mean, they, like you said, different characteristics. Like I said, Esteban's power output that he puts into his form is insane. The power that he puts in his kick full and his shuriken cutter. Phillips' complexity in his trick pass. He does aerial statue swing through raise, cheat 9. And, he starts off going, to the left and then circles back, to the right side of the stage, right? Yeah, the swing through, raise, cheat 9, hook, TDR, swing through, whatever. I mean, he'll change it up. Or, he'll do gainers to a court to the knee, like it's always, and then he'll stay right there, and then he'll take off going from corner to corner, hits that shuriken cutter, which is a really good. I think it's a great angle because you really see that pointed toe or pointed foot really go across the floor. So that's really good. And so it's a great matchup. Who else? We saw it earlier down and below, but the women's division was also really entertaining to watch. We'll start off Korean forms. I've never seen anyone stick a twist kick in my life until this year. So congrats to Lily McGuire taking that victory. Caitlin next time. I say that, but who else? Women's traditional weapons. Haley Glass, it's killer with the sword, speed, power. Notice she's changing up her form a little bit, which is cool to see.
That was against Caitlin McMillan, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't see Caitlin McMillan's form. I only saw Haley's form, but I'm sure.
Yeah, but she looks strong as always.
Yeah, of course. So, congrats to Haley. For CMX, Sarah Campbell stomped her form. She's love that side kick that she sticks in her form.
Yeah, man.
That's nuts. And I mean, just being able to her tricking difficulty as well for a woman to be, spinning and using
2.5's easy.
Yeah, using the bow like that is pretty impressive.
That's very good.
For forms, CMX forms. I didn't see the CMX forms.
The CMX forms for the women, that was Haley and Noelle. And Noelle was looking good too. And then she's had years ago, she had some knee problems, knee injuries. I believe she's had surgery on a knee and re-injured that same knee in her form on stage. So once again, wishing for a speedy recovery there too. These knees, man. I mean, the sport, it takes a toll, right? Especially the tricking side of things.
I hate seeing that for her. But
yeah, and then so that was Noelle versus Haley.
Yeah,
Haley hit a good form as well, but Noelle was looking nice though.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's
always been clean. I mean, she was speeding things up and had some good creativity in the hands too, like just across the board.
Yeah, I want to say, like, I feel like Noelle over the years, she's just because of her injury, it's really, I mean, that's taken a toll on her. But like, if you look past that, like, she's always been great over the years. Just her forms, she has great tricking difficulty in her forms. Like, I've always been impressed by Noelle over the years,
for sure.
So,
we already talked about Judah just a little bit. Like, Judah always looks strong. He's gotten a lot taller too. He's growing up. And then
his hair, you got a buzz cut.
That's right. I can't believe he got the buzz cut too. I guess that's the thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm next. I don't think that would work well.
Nah.
You gotta keep the flow. But Judah looks strong as always, man. Nothing to say there. He's killing it. Who he was against on stage, Mitchell Street, Team NMAC, has got some very strong trad. I was very impressed. And I've watched him in the past, but I really paid attention and watched this weekend. And he looked very sharp, very explosive. I was impressed. And I think it was a split too. So Mitchell got a few 9s, I believe. And then, Judah had a few more to end up with the win. But he was looking very, very strong.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Shout out to the young generation, man. They're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
On the girls' side, Sophia winning weapons and forms. Sophia Rodriguez Flores, she's always been, on top of it, just killing it. So a lot of great stuff happening for this generation, right before us. I'm super excited to kind of see like how things pan out, Michael Molina, he's been good since he was like 8. So it's cool to see him kind of growing up a little bit, but also stepping into his own like potential, because we've all known that like Michael's going to be really good. You could just tell from very early on. We were teammates with him for a little bit on Competitive Edge before we switched to Paul Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then somebody commenting as well, the underbelts on stage looked really solid too. So I mean, yeah, even looking past the younger generation of black belts, going to the underbelts, man, like there's a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yes, absolutely.
I saw some really good, dude. Friday night fights.
I was gonna say that.
Hard. Like Team Next Level had a underbelt girls team. I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch, man. The underbelts and the fighting side, we actually got to watch, the fights. I didn't get to see much underbelt form side of things, but the underbelt fighting got me hyped. I was in the crowd. I was like, two. Yeah.
You hear Kodak in the
yeah
yelling that. Oh man, yeah. Friday night fights was fun to watch. The senior division was pretty hype.
Yeah.
Willie hit a
nasty little turn.
Yeah, that was nuts. And on the other side, you had El Java, Kodak, and Anthony Merricks. Anthony Merricks looks really good. El Java, great as well.
Yeah, amazing coach as well.
Yeah, and coaching too. Like he's doing both. Like nice. Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, and then speaking of that, he's taking over with Top 10 USA now.
Mm-hmm.
Quite the big pickups for Top 10 USA. We got to talk about it on Good Morning Sport Karate with Jackson at the event. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Kevin Walker, Bailey Murphy on Top 10 Team USA now. So that is a squad. I mean,
yes,
they've got some younger competitors too more recently as well that are on point. And then now you add Bailey Murphy, Kevin Walker. It's a squad, man. Yeah. So we had some really good matchups with them, like team fights. Top 10 USA versus Paul Mitchell. That was a banger of a fight.
Oh, yeah.
It was down to sudden death last point.
Yeah.
20-21 or something. And Top 10, came out with the win. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a fun rivalry,
Oh, yeah. I was going to say that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to see a whole lot during the day with the fighting, just a little bit. I wish I didn't get to see Sab. Did you get to watch Sab?
Yeah, so I got to watch Sebastian a little bit. I got to watch him in open weight.
Okay.
He was on point, man. One of our coaches even made a joke. He's like, Sebastian's biggest opponent was his face mask. His face mask keeps coming on and off the whole fight.
Yeah, because every time he finishes a fight, when he takes his helmet off, his chin is just full of cuts. It's like, did you get hit pretty hard? And he's like, no, man, it's my face. It's my face healed.
Bro, stop. Yeah, that was funny, but no, he looked amazing though. I mean, he always does. He's just so smooth. Even the Paul Mitchell account posted a highlight of him hitting like a head kick and then just like smooth dodging out of the way of somebody else's kick. Like after, like he was on point. I guess Thursday night was, Friday open weight.
Yeah.
Whenever I saw him, I was like, yeah, man, he's looking good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Katarina dominating as always. Congrats to them.
Katana coming out on top in the open weight, and then Katarina on top in the divisional grand. I believe Katana has a little bit of an injury that she's dealing with now. I don't know if that was prior to this weekend or if it occurred during the weekend. I want to think it did. So hopefully that's nothing too big of a deal, and she'll be back on it in no time. But yeah, both of the ladies were killing it as always.
Yeah.
Team fights still undefeated there. Katie and Katana always on. Yeah. Men's open weight went to Bailey Murphy, who, nobody's surprised if Bailey wins, right? He's on point all the time. I feel like he's got a V8 engine in each of his calves, man. The way he just bounces and just takes angles, and man, he's smooth.
Before he touches gloves, man, he's just moving super smooth. He's like spinning around, touches gloves, and he's ready. bro, how are you moving that smooth already? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh man.
So,
Yeah, I've only ever seen Bailey on his A game. So
right. Yeah. Great matchups all weekend from, top 10 USA Paul Mitchell. There was a lot of individual matchups too with those two teams outside of the team fight as well. So Bailey ended up with the men's open weight. Then we had that was during the Friday night fights. So then Saturday we had all of the divisional fighting, and man, there was a lot of good stuff going on. I was watching some of those fights during trad while I was waiting for trad weapons to start. And one of those fights I got to watch was Bailey and Enrique, which was a big, kind of a little bit of a story, right? Because Ocean States they fought and Enrique came on top, and I know Bailey was wanting that one back, so they ended up fighting again, and Enrique came out on top again. So, I mean, Enrique also was on his A game all weekend. I mean, that leg is dangerous, man.
yeah.
So, yeah, so Enrique came out on top and ended up being the the lightweight grand winner for the men's fighting. And then Stacks, Kareem Abdullah was on point, and he was looking old school, like
Hitting hard.
Hitting, man. Yeah.
That was cool to watch.
Crazy good. So then he was the heavyweight grand winner as well. So a lot of great fighting. I've talked about it a lot before, but like I am such a big fan of the fighting now. Like when we got on the team, Alex was the only fighter we had. And then we picked up Sab right away. And I was like, oh, this young guy is good. Right. And then, we get Katana, Stacks, Cam, Devin all in one. Like, okay. Then we added Jake, or I think we maybe already had Jake, and then Katie. And it's just like, built and built and built. Now I've got this crazy good fighting team. And I'm just like loving the fighting. Like that's the highlight of my weekend usually is just sitting there watching the fights. I mean, the energy is always on point.
Oh, yeah.
You got the whole team behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's so freaking cool to watching them and supporting them, as teammates supposed to be, we're supposed to be doing that regardless. Just behind the chair, where Damon's sitting during the night show, just, hitting the stage. And it was really cool to see the fighters doing that for us.
Exactly. Yes.
So, like before I was doing, CMX, like I was right about to go. Cam and Stacks are right there, just right in front of me going, let's go, champ. Let's go. They did the same energy that, all three of us too. So that always, it's a great feeling. Just the fighters next to you when you're, about to hit your form. Like it's good. I love it.
Yeah. You really get a team atmosphere and not just like, you've got the forms guys, you got the fighters. Oh, it's all one. Like we're all one big team. I saw even Coach Damon said, like all for one and one for all. It's not just going to be, we got Ben over there in the corner doing his form, but we're going to just sit over here because we got to fight soon. No, they're going to be there with us, right? And yeah, like you said, you can always hear Cam. Cam, I'm watching my form back and I hear Cam in the background. I'm like,
same for me.
Yeah, so he's the man. It's a great team that we've got right now. Great team dynamic, great energy all around. 100%. Yeah. Some other people we like to shout out to. Mason Stowell is back looking stronger than ever, even though he's always been on point, always looking strong. We've always been big fans of Mason from the CMX side of things too, and the trad side. Like, especially when I was younger, I just did not get into the trad that much. Like, I didn't understand it as much when I was younger. Now I can appreciate the detail and the power and the technique and the efficiency of the body movement that makes up, what they're doing. But when I was younger, I just couldn't get into it, except I always liked watching Mason. Like there was always something about his trad that I really enjoyed. So always been a fan of him. So it was great to see him back and get to, chat with him, and his parents were there as well a little bit. So he's a great guy, great family. And yeah, he was looking real good.
Yeah, he is. Any form he does is great, but he has a great undie form.
Yeah, man.
That's what he did. And Yeah, his parents are great people. My parents, we're always, I mean, you don't see him as much anymore, but it was really great to see him again and just catch up with them as well.
Mhm.
And Mason's good too. Like he's a great person.
For sure.
Um, yeah, so congrats to him. Matthew Grisha is who he went against, and he's looking really good.
Yeah,
Is this his first or second year? No, this is his second year in the men's division, I think.
I believe this is his first.
Yeah, first.
Or maybe he did part of last year in adults.
Mhm.
But I think he started last year still, at least in juniors.
Yeah, well, he's not a veteran. He's pretty new, and he's
Either
already
way.
on it. Like,
Yeah.
he's looking really good too. Um, Dude, I don't know who he works with. I want to say he works with Jarrett. I don't. I could be super wrong on that, but beside the point, I thought he looked great this past weekend as well. So yeah, like I said, um, great on die form. It's
Yeah.
always good, man. When he yelled just the name, the whole room just stopped talking, and that just echoed throughout the room. I was
Yeah.
like,
Which
nah,
I think we both know how that feels as a competitor too. Because I think I've been on probably both sides of it. Like, you hear the big yell, and either everybody keeps talking and doesn't care, or everybody immediately just goes silent and starts watching. So
yeah,
it's like when you get that reaction, like everybody's like, oh, we gotta pay attention. Like that's
yeah,
what you want. That's how you know you've got them, right?
yeah. That's some aura personified right there. You hadn't even started your form yet. Like,
There you go.
yes, for
I had to
sure.
hit that younger generation with the aura mention.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to see a lot of, we talked about it with our team specifically, but I feel like I'm seeing a lot of fighting and forms almost like not crossovers, but a lot of the fighters are like almost fans of the form side too. And a lot of the form side, same thing, are like fans of the fighters.
Yeah,
Like I had some people sharing and commenting on my posts of my form, and I'm like, oh, you like pay attention to the form stuff too? Like I
Mhm.
always just figured they're focused on the fighting and don't really watch the form stuff.
Yeah,
Which I guess they could think the same thing about us too. Like we're just so encaptured in the the forms and the weapon stuff that we don't pay attention to the fighting, but it's definitely not the case. So I like to see that camaraderie just across the board between kind of the two disciplines, but it's all martial arts, right? So we're all in it.
yeah.
For the most part, same
Mhm.
goals.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of camaraderie, people like what we said from the beginning. Battle of Atlanta is such a big tournament that everyone shows up. So it's always great seeing people showing up who don't even compete, or
Yeah.
they used to compete back in the
Right,
days.
right.
Like we've coming across people who competed in like early 2010 era. So we got to meet Mark C for the first time, and that was pretty cool. And very complimentary towards us. Good high prices all around, good energy. He watched us too, went out of his way. He came Friday, went out of his way and came Friday evening and watched
Yeah.
us. That was pretty cool to see him and meet him for the first time.
Yeah.
Get to take a picture.
Some words, get a little advice, a little chatting.
Yeah, for sure. And Caitlin Deschelle, great seeing her as always.
Yeah.
She trains some girls right now in the youth, so she's still involved with the sport.
Mhm.
Kalman showed up for a little bit. Of course, yeah, he's from Atlanta, so yeah, of course you just expect him to show up. So yeah, that was very. It's always good to see him. He used to, for both of us, we used to train with him a little bit. We took lessons. So, yeah, it's always good catching up with him.
Yeah.
Marcel Jones, another one. It's his home. It's his home tournament. So, yeah, you bet, expect him to be there. So, yeah, it was always good catching up with him. It's cool it was interesting. I've just never had him as a judge before. So, yeah, he was in the very center of men's weapons. So, like, I saw him there. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, hey there.
but but that's how he is, though. He loves to teach. He loves to provide feedback to the sport, which is very appreciative. Well, I'm gonna say that again. We can all appreciate that, for someone who used to compete back then, who still would love to put all of his energy into all of us and still give us stuff that we can work on and grow, in the sport.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think who else showed up. Fighters too. Like I didn't get to meet him, but Ernest Miller was there.
Mhm.
You know. Um,
Well, Joe Corley was there, and
oh
we
yeah.
saw him in the elevator.
Oh yeah. I feel so young, but I never knew who he looked like until this year. So yeah, we were heading to the night show, and he just got in the elevator with us, and I was like, "So you're the famous Joe Corley?" He's like, "Yeah, that's me." I was just like, "Oh, pleasure to meet you."
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool getting to introduce myself to him. Or
Yeah, and he was like, good luck tonight. Put on a good show or something like that.
for sure, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I can't think of many others.
Yeah, I think that was the main group that, in terms of forms on the kata side. Well, if we're talking about promoters, yeah, who used to be the promoter for Quebec, Claremont. So I didn't know who. I also didn't know who he looked like. I just knew who he was. Who he used to be, or he still works with the Quebec Open. Yeah, he came up to me at Ocean State this year, and he's like, "Man, you were the guy who did the sword form last year and did really well." I was like, "Yes, sir." Yeah, he's like, "Do you know who I am?" I was like, "No, sir. I'm sorry. Who are you?" He's like, he kind of just looked at me like, "Are you serious?" He introduced himself to me, and I got to see him again this year. Well, I already did, but I saw him again at Quebec because he was,
Yeah.
helping. He was also working there. So, yeah, there were some people who were making jokes to me, and it's like, "You didn't know who Claremont was at all?" I was like, "No, sorry, I didn't know who he looked like." So it was funny. I did, and yeah, and I got to meet Joe Corley. So yeah, there's still people in this sport that I just have heard of. I've just never met him, or I've seen him
Yeah.
in a video with the most absolute potato looking quality. So I really don't know. Like, yeah, because I remember last year I saw Kim Do because I never knew what he looked like because I only see videos of him that just the quality was,
Like a microwave, right?
yeah, it was potato quality. So I never knew who he looked like. So I saw Kim Do last year, just in the booth with Joe Greenhall. I was like, that's who he looks like right there. Wow. Okay. But yeah, shout out to Kim Do.
For sure.
I didn't get a chance to talk with Mr. G at all. But he's still doing his thing, selling weapons in the booth.
Yeah, always.
For sure.
I mean, I'm a G-Force guy,
For sure.
always have been really. So, I've always loved the bows. I think, the balance of them,
Mhm.
weight, everything. He does a really great job with the
Mhm.
weapons, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like he's kind of set the standard, and then, some people are doing their own thing as well, which is great. I think it's,
Yeah.
we try and
Yeah.
push them forward. But Joe is, everything he's done with G-Force is
Yeah.
solid. That's what I
Mhm.
like.
Yeah, the sword that I currently use was from him. It's not he didn't make it, he just had it in his storage. Like, last year I came up to him at Quebec and, well, I was last year I was using, Cowman's sword that he gave to me. I was using that and he just looked at it and saw he's like, "Let me look at that." So, he took a look at it and he's like, "Man, this thing needs cleaning and polishing." I was like, "Well, it's very old and it's Cowman's, so it's pretty old." And he's like, "I got a Kenka sword at the store." I was like, "You don't say. What does it look like?" He's like, "It's got ridges on it. Looks sick." I was like, "You got a video of it or a picture of it?" He's like, "Yeah, hold on one second." Pulls out his phone. And he's like, Yes, it's in the storage. I don't have a sheath or anything, so I can make it for you. I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
If it's gonna stay in your storage, I'll take it. He's like, yeah, I'll find it. But yeah, he made me a sheath for it, and yeah, it's a sword that I currently use, and it's an old, authentic Ken Carr sword that no one used, or
Yeah.
they're very rare, very very rare. So
Yeah.
very
yeah,
rare.
and you can tell too. Mr. G loves the sport. I mean, and he wants to see things move forward, and he's helping push things forward as well. And a lot of appreciation for him.
Yeah, just not just manufacturing weapons, but like what he's done with his team. Like he has had some. I mean, still right now he's got excellent fighters, women's fighters, men's fighters. Yeah, I mean, he's built a lot of talent in his team over the years. Like Mark C was on his team. There's a long list of
Raymond Daniels. I mean, yeah, we don't even start because
yeah, for sure. But yeah, he's done a lot of great things. So
100% always.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anybody else we wanted to shout out? I mean, just the whole Battle of Atlanta crew. I think the staff, like, they have so many people helping run that event. I mean, obviously the whole Ruth family is very involved, and you can tell there are things they do to make sure people have a good experience.
Yeah.
I saw Esteban make a post I saw shortly before we went live that just the production side of things, like having the camera on us as we walk up to the stage, like that is such a cool touch. Like it really makes us feel like superstars walking up on stage. And then the stream is, it's got multiple angles. There's like even an overhead angle, and the commentary, the lighting, everything is just like it's really, really well done. I mean, the whole Battle of Atlanta crew puts in a lot of work to make it a great event.
Absolutely.
Shout out to everybody that took the time to either scorekeep or judge or just be a part of whatever it is, security, everything, the lighting crew, all that stuff. It takes a whole village to make it run like it did. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Lighting, camera, night show, it always gets better, man.
Yeah. Both of my parents working all weekend. My dad is a coordinator for, a certain area. My mom was doing I think she was in charge of all the scorekeepers in a certain area. So they were real busy all weekend.
Yeah.
And, it's just I feel like it's like a family. Like the Battle of Atlanta staff is like its own family,
For sure. Hey, Friday, we got done until 5? Yeah. We started at 12. We didn't get done till 5:30, which it went by so fast.
Sometimes, well, not sometimes anymore, but in the past, I've been doing divisions till past midnight.
Yeah.
So, to be done at 4:30, I was like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, right. I was like, wow, we're done now. Let's go watch some fighting real quick, and let's go get some food and go to sleep. Well, we had practice, demo practice after that. But speaking of demo, competitive edge, we had both of us, and including Avery, worked with the team while the Presleys and Jackson were busy doing their camp. So it was a pleasure, just doing demo practice with them, and Kathy Rudolph being involved in it as well, as always, doing her thing. The talent, the level of talent all those kids have is just, I mean, it's on another level. It is just better than what we did. The demo is better than the years ago. So it's just really beautiful to see how much it's progressed. And the athleticism and all the the youth, we've just been talking about this whole time. The weapons, the bow, they do a great job. The sword, Maddie, Mason, Elijah, Aaron, the nunchucks. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the demo. Just Zeke and Lee, just stupid. It's oh man, they hit. They're so. They just hit every time. It's man.
Yeah. I think actually every time. I didn't see them mess up at all.
No, they didn't. They didn't mess up.
Yeah.
Not the whole practice.
Every time.
Yeah. We showed up at the practice at 11?
something like that. You know?
Yeah, they've been practicing. They were practicing since 9 a.m. You know, and that is like,
and kept going until like 2 or 3.
Yeah. So I mean, the how CE is. I mean, even when we were on, it's like, well, no one lives close. It's just like it's all, online communication of like, okay, who's gonna be here? I will. Okay, who's not gonna be here? Me. So I was like, okay, we're gonna have to change some stuff up. What music are we gonna use? And it's just like, all right, we got all that sorted out. Let's do it all Thursday or Friday, a day before the tournament. And you have to just put in that time and sacrifice, and all those kids and parents did that. Just I remember doing that, and
Yeah.
it's tough, man. And I mean, shout out to the parents. They're real troopers for that. I remember Crystal Wiersma brought sandwiches, in a cooler and drinks. She's like, "Would you like a sandwich?" I was like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, I'll take a sandwich.
You got next, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. Congratulations to Competitive Edge. Winning. Infinity. It was great watching them doing their thing. Freestyle didn't show up, but I mean, I'm planning on watching them when they show up at US Open. I'm sure they will. I mean, the demo has been really great to see this year. I mean,
100%. I think the entertainment factor of demos is so high right now. Like, there are things being done that like we would have never thought of for us to do.
Mhm.
Infinity's got something. They like grab arms and front flip somebody else. Like they just flip them into a front flip. And they've got some other crazy stunts. I mean, the handstand pull over the top. They've been doing that for a few years now, but that's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, Infinity's got some really sweet stuff. Yeah, like you said, with Competitive Edge too, it's cool to see the level of difficulty has definitely taken a step up. Yeah, and it was fun to be able to be there. I think one cool part for me too is I teach at Infinity Martial Arts. I don't necessarily work with the demo all the time, but I train some of the people on the team and have worked with a lot of them. So it's cool to watch them, as a part of this area with Infinity.
Yeah.
And then it's cool as alumni of Competitive Edge, like I basically got to revamp an old intro that we did to an old song that we did. So that was cool to just show that to the current Competitive Edge team, because like that was our thing. Like that was the song we did, the intro we did. So it was cool to be able to give back in that area of like, this is how we used to do it. We're going to alter it a little bit for you guys. And now you guys get to go up on stage and do it. So that was really cool. And then Extreme Revolution too. Shout out to them. They've got some cool stuff going. Like at one point they're like, I don't know if it's a bow or something that's like out, and they just flying sidekick running straight stage corner to corner, just huge flying sidekicks over the top. So they've got some really cool stuff going too. Jeff Dawson, Tim Conkle, I think are putting in a lot of work for that demo team. So yeah, a lot of like really just high entertainment value to watch. A lot of fun to watch, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you look at it, like the crowds, everyone is there.
Yeah,
watching
into it.
Parents' phones are out. If you're going to walk in front of the stage, you have to duck to make your way from one side to the other because there's so many phones out. So it's like
100%.
High value division for sure. It's very entertaining. Absolutely.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, it's still fun watching Mike Welch, being involved. I hope to see him hop in, put a gi on and just do it again. I don't know if he'll do it. I don't know. That's up for, I'll probably ask him next episode, but which we will be in. He will be our next guest. So that's something to look forward to, is to talk with, a veteran of the sport, who's very successful and, producing a legendary demo team, as well as, his individual stuff, his sync. So yeah, shout out to Mike Welch. Yeah, man.
A lot of good stuff. Like, I think, I've kind of come to realize the position we're in now, we've become vets of the sport. So it's very cool. Obviously, we do private lessons just here and there with people. And it's cool to see, like, being alumni of a team and being able to go watch that team, being involved with, just other groups of people, watching the fighting side of everything. It's a lot of fun to be able to be in like a veteran position and see what's coming up and see what's coming, after us. And very, very, I think, inspiring to see too. I look at some of these runoffs and I'm like, dang, if they were competing against us, I'd be like pushed a little bit more too. Like,
Yeah.
Very exciting to see. I think things are going to push forward really well. And yeah, like you said, next podcast coming up will be with the man himself, the pioneer of, demo, really. At least what we know it as today. And obviously we'll get into that some more with him. So Mike Welch will be the next guest on the podcast. That will be during the weekend of Team Infinity Summer Camp, which we hold here in Middleton, which Dawson will be coming up for as a guest instructor. So if you're anywhere close to the area, make sure to be there. It's going to be all of Team Infinity is there helping give back, coaching. I'll be there coaching. Dawson will be there coaching as well. So it's going to be a great time. July 11th, 12th, 13th is the Team Infinity Summer Camp. So during that weekend, we will be doing in-person podcast episode with the man, the boss man, Mr. Mike Welch. So it's going to be a blast.
Yes.
So as always, leave some comments down below, like some of your favorite moments from the event last weekend, some of your favorite performances. And yeah, man, it's been a fun weekend, fun time. Looking ahead to US Open is going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm excited. So as always, shout out to Century Martial Arts and Sport Karate Zone for hosting us on the platform. This has been another awesome episode of The Clean Truth, and we will catch you all next time. Peace.